Hello and welcome to this video in which I want to help you to get back into meditating and to do so with joy and ease and to also make it something that is beneficial to you. My name is Dr. Christine Braehler. I'm a clinical psychologist and mindfulness and self-compassion teacher. Tip number one is, instead of turning meditation into a chore or into a job that you need to get done, turn it into a holiday, something that you really enjoy. So you all know the feeling that you think, well, I should be meditating, you put it on your to-do list, and well, even though you may need to have structure to get into meditation at first, it then becomes a chore. It becomes something that you're looking at the clock and you're like, when is it finished? And oh God. And you're in that state of mind of simply getting it done as you're meditating, which is the opposite of maybe being in the present moment and resting in the midst of your awareness. So what you can do is to again shift your mindset and really treat it as rest time. Yes, you're sitting, upright, and you want to be conscious and aware of what is rising in your awareness and to relate with it with acceptance and compassion, but it's rest. So what I recommend you do is to really use, for instance, the support of the earth beneath you, to really feel that your body is held, your body is taken care of, and it's held upright through your spine, your posture, the earth, body at rest. And then you allow your mind to come at rest by really saying it, there's nothing to be done, there's nothing you have to figure out, you can really just relax and maybe use the image, if it speaks to you, of inviting your mind to come to rest in the hammock of your heart, right? And altogether you can just imagine that you're lying in a hammock or in a sunbed. And then your heart can naturally open because everything can come to rest and you're just in the here and now, nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to be figured out. So see it as a rest time, as a holiday time, and maybe it becomes more enjoyable that way. Tip number two, don't try to sanitize your mind, but to purify your mind. What do I mean by that? When we begin to meditate, we obviously want peace and quiet because we often come to it because we feel stressed and we want to calm thoughts. So we pursue a particular outcome. And then we can get very striving about it, maybe even harsh and aggressive in a more subtle way. And we feel disturbed by any thought, painful sensations, memory, emotions that intrudes on our awareness. We feel like it's an intrusion, it's disturbing our inner peace, and we zap it away. It's a kind of very aggressive kind of pushing it away. And I compare it to like sanitizing, disinfecting kind of our inner awareness. And as you can tell, this is already an act of kind of aggression or striving and pushing against the organic movement of things wanting to come to the surface. So it, first of all, creates stress in us. We're more tense, and what we resist persists. Everything that we've pushed away will only come back stronger. It's like a rebounce effect, right? And it will also persist. So either during meditation, it will intrude even more strongly, or once we've finished meditating. So what to do instead? I said purify. Purify means that we actually work with the painful experiences that come up and transform them through compassion so that they can be healed, they can be felt, they can be healed, they can transform themselves through the power and this alchemy of compassion. And there's also a purging or a transformation, but it's not done in this aggressive way, it's done in a loving way. Another way to help you feel compassion towards everything that arises within your awareness is that you could see all of these sensations, emotions, memories, thoughts as small children who are finally wanting to get your attention. So beforehand, you were too busy, you were focusing on something outside, you were busy with your to-do list, and now you're kind of dropping in, you're checking in with yourself, and they're like, hey, we finally get a chance to get her attention. Everyone come out and show him or herself to her. And suddenly you have the pain, and suddenly you have the sadness, and suddenly you have the worry. And just like with children, you can be patient, loving, and firm by saying, I hear you, I feel you, I see you. Really acknowledge them. And maybe also say, look, I'm going to tend to you and give you what you need in like 10 minutes. I'm just going to focus on my breathing for then, just to kind of calm myself, and then I'm going to tend to you, right? Or if they're really in need, then maybe you can change the whole meditation into more of a self-compassion practice, or into a compassion-based parts work practice, which is more following the method of internal family systems therapy. So once you do that, all your parts will eventually kind of calm down, because they are in this compassionate, loving connection with you, and you're not pushing anything away, and there's peace and harmony that will naturally arise, that you can be relatively free from thoughts and relatively empty, but you're actually quite full because you're deeply connected with all that you are. So instead of sanitizing, think about meditation as purification of that which wants to be witnessed, felt, and healed by you. Tip number 3 is to meditate not to make yourself feel better, but because you deeply care about yourself. So when we first set out to meditate, we may be motivated by achieving a certain goal, such as maybe reducing your blood pressure or overall feeling less stressed. And if we then maybe say do a 30-day challenge to meditate 30 minutes every day, we may have that goal in our minds and to help us motivate us to sit down and meditate every day. The problem with that is that we do this from our striving physiology, and our striving physiology is kind of to do with chasing something like a trophy in the short term, like going hunting. And it gives us energy, but we can only sustain it till we get the trophy, if you like, and then we're kind of depleted and we have to recover. And we also have to constantly keep the trophy, in the prize in mind, to keep us going, to keep generating this energy and the motivation. And well, it also takes us away then from being in the present, because we're constantly thinking about, well, in 30 days, hopefully I will have achieved this outcome. So what can we do about that? We can switch our intention from striving to achieve a specific outcome to caring for ourselves, into sitting down, not because we want to feel better, but because we want to be well in the long term. And this activates our care physiology, which is deeply restorative, calming. We feel connected, and we can evoke it by either saying what I just said, or we can think of a person, maybe someone in our family or a friend, who genuinely cares for us, really wishes us to be well in the long term, and to feel that intention in our hearts and let it activate this care physiology. And we're like, oh, they just wish us to be well in the long term. They don't want us to suffer unnecessarily. Right? They really, really, really love us and care for us. And that taps us into this sort of gentle, sustainable energy that we get from our care system, which is very different from the short-term kind of chasing, hunting, trying to get the prize energy that we get from the striving system. So in that way, we can literally sit back down time and again and say, I'm just giving myself a period of rest and being with myself, dropping in, tending to what needs to be tended to, because I deeply care about myself. And I know that when I do this regularly, I'm going to be well in the long term. So I look forward to seeing you in one of my meditations or in one of my courses. And please feel free to subscribe to this channel and share it with others if you found it helpful. Thanks for listening.